Okay. Klaro na ako?
Yes, Dai.
Okay. Good day, everyone. Mr. Ceriales and I are going to discuss the matters that were discussed the other day about the orientation for student teachers. Sa ako sa i-full view. Full view. Yeah. So, these are the student teachers coordinators. We have Dr. Andrea Catarata, our CP coordinator, and Dr. Antonia Gwendolyn B. Dispojo, our BE Ed ST coordinator, and Dr. Christina P. Calisan, our BS Ed ST coordinator. So if we have concerns, we are going to approach them if we have concerns about um, our student teaching journeys. And next, we have our introduction. What is student teaching? So, student teaching is a college supervised instructional experience, usually the culminating course in a university or college, undergraduate education, or graduate school program leading to teacher education and certification. So, basically, student teaching, this is the last process in order to process again to being a teacher education and getting a certification, right? Who is the ideal student teacher? So this is the acronym for student teacher. If you are an ideal student teacher, you are smart and self-reliant. That means you are smart enough, knowledgeable enough to deliver knowledge to the students, to deliver effective learning to the students, and you are self-reliant. You are smart enough to be self-reliant. Now, if you are not going to rely on someone else, you can rely on yourself in doing tasks and any other things that is related to your student teaching journey. Next is trustworthy. If you are an ideal student teacher, if you are trustworthy, of course, a critic teacher or our professor instructor will not hand over tasks to us student teachers if we are not trustworthy. So we have to be trustworthy to be an ideal student teacher. That means we are going to do whatever task our professor, instructor, critic teacher handed to us. And then understanding not only with accepting tasks, we should also be understanding in handling our students, especially if our students are giving us student teachers stress, because that's what it's going to be. We should be understanding to our students. We should stretch our patience for them. And next, we have D for diligent. We should be diligent. We should be willful to do our given task. We should be diligent in our assignments, in doing our what our critic teacher or professor instructor will ask us to do. Energetic. For letter E, we have energetic and enthusiastic. So of course, if we are going to teach students, we should be energetic and enthusiastic, because our mood influence our the people around us, especially the students. So if our mood is um, is lousy, or if we show to our students that we are tired, then our students would feel that energy, and they would also um, feel tired. They will not feel energetic. So we should, as student teachers, we should be energetic in delivering learning to the students, because it will always be effective if we deliver lessons to the students with energy. and enthusiasm. Next, we have N for noble and nurturing. So noble, we are kanang honorable. Student teacher, we practice to be honorable. We have high moral principles. And because if we have high moral principles, if we practice that, then we can also apply that to nurturing our students. And then we have T, which is tactful. We should be mindful of the things we say to our students. We should be mindful to the feedbacks that we give to our students. As student teachers, we can relate to those kanang um, mga mga insensitive feedbacks from kana atong mga sa una pa lang nga mga professors. We can relate to the students. So as student teachers, we know how it feels kung takles ang ato ang professor. Then we should practice ourselves to be tactful, mindful ta whatever we say to our students. And if we are going to throw feedbacks, then we should be mindful of that too. Na we cannot offend them, because offending our students will affect them. It will um, give them a hard time. They will be intimidated because we are insensitive. So we should be sensitive in what they feel. Okay, next we have the acronym for the teacher, which is T for technologically adapt. So technologically adapt, we should be kung dili man expert kaayo jud, we should be knowledgeable enough para for our so that our students, if they have questions, we will be able to cater those questions from them. And we should go beyond what we already know about technology, especially in navigating. And we should extend our effort more to other to learning more um, technology tools, something like that. And next is letter E for eager to learn. So we are student teachers and we are also still learning. So we should be eager to learn um, from from the teaching that we are going to experience, eager to learn from our critic teachers, eager to learn from our professor, instructor, and because it will help us. It will help us in the future naman po. Next, we have letter A, approachable. This is very crucial because our students will be in the future will be intimidated if we are not approachable. So approachable, not only not only outside the class but also inside, so that students will not be intimidated in asking questions. They will not be ashamed in asking questions. C for committed, consistent, and confident. Once we are willful, well diligent, we are eager to learn, we are um, we are committed to what we do. So as student teachers, we are committed to teaching. We are committed, we are passionate to teach our students. And then of course our effectivity in teaching should be consistent. And then we can see that in the results naman. And then we should be confident, not overconfident, but enough confident so that our students will trust us, that we know what we teach to them, that we know this knowledge, and that we are confident that this knowledge is transferable to them, na they will that this knowledge is not false. Okay, we have letter H, which is humble. So even if you are confident, enough confident, you should still be humble. Okay, we are also still learning, so we should be humble. From our, for me, maybe humble for in accepting kanang criticisms, humble in accepting mistakes, and humble in coordinating with our critic teachers and instructor, and even to our students. Next, we have earnest. So earnest is kanang willful ta to to do whatever. task we are going to handle. We are kanang serious. We are serious, but dili not just serious in for the sake of being serious in teaching. Student teaching is not a joke, so we should be serious, but sincere by heart also. Sincere by heart so that we will be an effective teacher to the students. Next is um, res- responsible, responsive, and respectful for letter R. So yes, student teaching is a serious field for us students. So we should be responsible for our task, to the given task to us, to whatever task our critic teacher will give us, our professor or instructor will give us. And we should be responsive. We should not practice procrastination now, because this is the crucial stage in our college na we have to be responsive and respectful. And in being responsive, you are also being respectful na. Okay. So field studies, student teaching practicum comprises of 6 units of the 12-unit requirement of field studies and teaching internship. So mauni siya, our field studies comprises of 6 units. Okay. Here we have to review our grading system. Our e-portfolio and accomplished receivers is 20%, and our e-classroom quizzes, this includes with the supervisor classes, webinars or trainings, let review, that's 20% also. Our mentors evaluation is 20%. Supervisor's evaluation is 20%, and final demonstration is 20%. Note that this is for internship scores only. So that's all of that is in a total of 100%. Okay, other reminders, each session. So SC must use both technology and instructional devices and aids. Now, this is because we always have to have plan A and plan B, plan A for technology, and whatever may happens, we have a backup instructional devices or aids or instructional aids. Next, we have devices must be colorful or relevant and well prepared. So of course, so that our teaching, when we teach, we are our background for our lessons should not be dull. It should be colorful, so that it will be captivating for the students. And of course, it should be relevant. We should not put anything that is not related to our lesson. And well prepared, it's dili kay gi andam nato kay nagkaratol-ratol na ta sa atong pag-andam, so it's not well prepared and it will not be kanang well presented. Next, lesson plans for each session or lesson must be checked by critic teacher at least 2 days prior to actual teaching. So this is very important. For me, lesson plans should be prepared 2 days prior to actual teaching. So ipa-check na nato siya sa atong critic teacher 2 days pa lang prior sa atong actual teaching. And then practice teaching responsibilities. Okay, so the student teacher shall participate actively in school related activities. However, priority should be given to academic related activities. So we should be an active participant sa mga school related activities, and notify the cooperating teacher in case of absences. So dili lang ta mo absent nga walay pahibalo, atong i-notify before ahead of time. So mo notify ta sa cooperating teacher ahead of time. And then consider be open to constructive criticism. So student teachers, we are still learning. We should be open. We should be open-minded to constructive criticism, because these criticisms are the tools that will help us to grow. Next, we have respect the dignity and rights of the children. So this is very important. Pasig malimutan na students also have the rights. So we should respect the dignity and rights of children, of our students. And then come prepared at all times. Dili kay magkaratol-ratol na ta in preparing our visual aids or presentations. So we should always be prepared at all times. This is also for our own good naman po. Next, secure clearance from the cooperating school. And then accomplish the internship portfolio, and internship portfolio will be discussed further later on. And number 8, project a good image as a teacher at all times by observing code of ethics, proper dress code, punctuality in all activities of the internship. So again, code of ethics, we already went through our ed subjects about code of ethics. Um, if we have read that, then we should start applying our code of ethics, and then proper dress code, that even if we dili mo uniform outside, we should dress in formal and in not revealing clothes. So we should practice that. And then punctuality in activities, in all activities of the internship. So we should not be late. We should be early in all our activities. So student teaching process, we have entrance exam. Okay, note that passing score is 75%. This is zero base. So STs are allowed to take removal exams up to the third time, after which they will be given mini lessons on their weak areas. Student teaching supervisors will then give the necessary assessment. So if we fail for the coming exam, we are given a third time. Removal exams for the third time. Ang removal exams will be given three chances. So at least we have three chances if we fail, and we will be given um, mini lessons and then assessment, a necessary assessment. So this is very helpful. Okay, but hopefully we will all pass. Next, we have the interview, which is also the passing score is 75%. And next, we have the deployment to laboratory schools. First, letter A, on-campus student teaching. So this is 10 observation sessions. So no student teacher is allowed to do actual teaching without completing this requirement. So we are not allowed to do actual teaching without completing 10 observation sessions. STs must submit daily observation logs to ST supervisor for each day of observation. So we have to submit daily observation logs sa atong mga supervisor kung asa ta na belong. Okay. We have student teaching process continue. So student teaching has 400 hours to be completed in the field. We have 360 hours of actual teaching. On campus is 60 hours and 300 hours off campus. And we have 40 hours for other tasks. So that's a total of 400 hours to be completed. And then next we have pre-demo. Okay, this is unannounced with the recommendation of the critic teacher. And then we have the final demo, announced ni siya to be evaluated by a panel. So final demo, this is the heavy part in the process of student teaching. So we are going to bring a final demo rubric, and we are going to be evaluated by a panel. Okay, student teaching process continue. We have submission of internship portfolio, our C-bars, clearances, and other requirements. And then we still have other requirements, the CE or FU major activities, seminars, workshops, webinars for the entire year, attendance and certificates to be signed by resource person. Absence in one training or workshop means the ST should look for another seminar of the same nature outside of FU. So there are other seminars outside the school. There are trainings and workshops naman pod, and if you have missed trainings or workshops, so you should just have to find another seminar or workshop outside the school. Okay, So what to bring? This is during final demo. So we are going to bring 3 copies of lesson plan. This is checked by the critic teacher and of course encoded, and 3 copies of final demonstration rubric. And then other things are snacks, tokens, and 1,000 pesos for our critic teacher honorarium. 1,000 pesos. Okay, I'm going to give this part to Mr. Ceriales. Sir.
Thank you, Ma'am Cristela. So, good afternoon, everyone. So, let's proceed to the FAQs or frequently questions. So, first we have this question: Can STs proceed with the off-campus space without complete the on-campus space? Actually, no, because dito pwede mo proceed and we need to finish the given 60 hours sa on-campus. And the second one is, what is the importance of the final demonstration? Actually, final demo is very important because this is the time when a student teacher showcase his or her abilities to teach. And preparedness and handling a lesson is a must, including making of presentations or visual aids. The third one is, what happens when an ST fails in the final demo? Um, for me, I think student teacher can redemo and should do his or her best. And the fourth one, how often should an ST consult with the cooperating teacher or supervisor? Um, I think ST can consult anytime if necessary. And from the next question is that, are STs allowed to handle multiple classes or levels? Yes, STs are allowed, um, especially currently if we have given 360 hours and galaganda sa oras. Lastly, what happens to a student teachers who are found incompetent or responsible? Um, So in this question, if ever gani, if we have seen some student teacher who is very incompetent. So atong button nila is if atong button nila if responsible sila is paundangon lang jud sila, which is they deserve it because um incompetent man sila and irresponsible sila sa pagtudlo. So let's proceed to the common complaints of mentors or cooperating teachers. So here are some of the complaints of some of the cooperating teachers or mentors. First is poor communication skills. Second one, not meeting deadlines. Third one, tardiness and absenteeism. Fourth one, inability to meet set standards. Fifth one, lack of passion and commitment towards teaching. Um, the sixth one is lack of volunteerism. And lastly, not willing to do tasks outside of teaching. So in order na ma-avoid nato ning mga complaints, so we need to be responsible and to follow kung sige pang hatag nato as a student teacher. So here are some of the additional requirements for STs. First is seminars are now required. Of course, ang mga seminars na to is required yun siya, especially effective communication part one, oral communication, which is care of by the dean, and part two is written communication, care of also with the dean, and SPED part one, how to diagnose exceptional learners, genius and disabled by Dr. Libertine de Guzman, and lastly, the NCBTS framework and competencies by Dr. J. Mark Umbach. So joint CHED DepEd memorandum order on the policies and guidelines on the deployment of pre-service teachers for field study and teaching internship. So let's proceed to. So here are the delivery of experiential learning courses. We have the teaching learning activities and also the teaching internship, which is um, given time of 360 hours. So from the teaching learning activities, we have first we have observation of classes, pre-observation and post-observation conferences. And during teaching internship, first is observing the teaching learning process is limited to face and flexible and distance learning delivery modes, focusing on the development of the MELCs and reflecting on these processes. And second one is attending pre-observation and post-observation conferences with the cooperating teacher and the college supervisor. And lastly is keeping a daily reflection journal. This is for during the observation of classes that we need um to be aware or sa anong kung ano na during teaching internship. Second one is class routines. First is during teaching internship, attending orientation sessions on protocols for classes and the learning modality employed by the school. Second one is assisting the cooperating teacher in the preparation of implementation of class guidelines appropriate for the learning modality employed by the school. So, atong mga pambuhatan ani is um, during orientation sessions for classes, dapat yun tang attend and we need to assist also our cooperating teacher in preparing those lessons or mga unsa na siya naipabuhat sa atong um, critic teacher. Third one is preparation of instructional materials during teaching internship. First, we need to assisting the cooperating teacher in the preparation of presentation and learning materials to be used in classes. Second one is developing contextualized instructional materials for demonstration, teaching that are appropriate for the learning modality employed by the school. So, as a student teacher, we need to be assist our cooperating teacher as well in preparing our presentation and learning materials to be used in our class, and also if magamaga nita og mga instructional materials is it must be relevant in the class and dapat appropriate ang learning na to ana for the students. So more na siya sa pag-prepare na to og instructional materials, and let's take a note that the practice teacher will not reproduce or print depth and self-learning modules for the students who will be assigned him or her. And all modules will be provided by the cooperating school. So let's take a note of it. The fourth one is the class activities. Also during teaching internship, first is assisting the cooperating teachers in preparing class activities. Second one is facilitating class activities in the learning modality employed by the school with minimum supervision from the cooperating teachers. And lastly is designing contextualized learning activities aligned with the MELCs. So during class activities, assist sila sa atong cooperating teacher. Um, Next one is a demonstration of teaching, and during internship is preparing lesson plans, study guides, modules, and teaching materials appropriate for the learning modality employed by the school. And second one is conducting daily and final demonstration teaching appropriate for the learning modality employed by the school. And lastly, and the next one is school forms. So assisting the cooperating teacher is accomplishing school. So the last one is networking and languages. So During the teaching internship, first is assisting the cooperative teacher in parent-teacher conferences, and second one is providing support by being volunteer tutors as part of the auxiliary service in partner schools following IETF guidelines. And the third, lastly, is participating in local and international webinars and other online professional activities. So, muna buhaton if magkuha na ta, um, isa sa atong cooperating teacher, and of course, mo join siya mga webinars or any kind of mga ana. Then, next one is classroom-based action research. First is conducting a CBARs on a specific teaching learning area in the learning modality employed by the school and listing reference uses used in the CBARs following the prescribed referencing or citation styled adopted by the TEI. Second one is sharing results of the research with an audience through any available platform. The third one is submitting the action research to the college supervisors. There mo ni katong gigama nga research na katong gipagama ng mga and basta katong gipagama to nga nga research so ma-open na ko mao jud ni siya ang ipala sa ani. Second one is portfolio is preparing a portfolio of various teaching learning experiences and processes that is to give emphasis on the process rather than output. So since it is online, so inata need magamaag we need to make the e-portfolio. So portfolio which is consists mo ni siya ang flow sa e-portfolio. So the portfolio must show the practice teachers' development experiences and the Philippine professional standard for teachers domains. Here are the following are the suggested contents for the portfolio teaching sheet. First, we have the title, and it must be creative and textualized by the um, PT, and followed with the introduction, acknowledgement, curriculum vitae of the PT, and certificate of completion, which is given of 360 hours, and professional vitae, including journals, experiences, and reflection of the on the Philippine Professional Standards for Teacher, including those domain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the teaching philosophy as well as a beginning teacher. The following precautionary measures should be followed. So here are those. Is reduce contact through physical distancing, and second one is reduce transmission through appropriate use of personal protective equipment and other transmission control methods. And second one is reduce duration um, of infection through timely detection, contact tracing, and isolation measures. FSS and PTs 18 years old above will be allowed to participate in limited face-to-face experiential learning classes provided that a consent of the parents or guardians, including the student, be secured by the HEI prior to the conduct of face-to-face experiential learning course. So, mao ni siya atong precautionary guideline. I guess that's all.
Okay. Stop sharing. Okay, so that is all about the orientation for student teachers that we have discussed. So wala na ilain, no? So thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ma'am Cristela.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.